Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to the Black Monster Cup Winter Season 2014. We're here in the quarterfinals between Playing Ducks and SK Prime, and what a quarterfinal it has been so far. My name is Munchables, and joining me in a Sigilus, and what a game it was.
But what a best two games it was. Like, the last two games were both so unbelievably down to the wire. It was so close the entire time, and both games, the team that was slightly ahead ended up losing. Like, Playing Ducks in the first game were slightly ahead all throughout the early game, and then it flipped over and SK Prime took it. Game two, opposite situation. Playing Ducks were ahead again in the early, but in the bulk of the game, SK Prime were ahead. And then two bad fights, and suddenly Playing Ducks wins it. I mean, it was insane. And, I do think that part of the reason why SK Prime lost that last game was that their composition lacked a little bit of the damage they required in the later stages. But regardless of that, this is a new game. This is the last game in the series. Whoever wins this goes forward to the semifinals. And let's look at some of these picks and bans. So we got Gnar locked in from Playing Ducks. That has been banned most of the other games. It is a crazy strong pick. On the other side, on SK Prime, we got Thresh and Pantheon. Pantheon has done a lot of work today in the quarterfinals. And ban-wise, Syndra, Zed, Irelia, Jace, Warwick, Elise, pretty much, except for Jace and Zed, all champions that we've seen in the last series that just did really, really well. Especially, I want to touch again on the Syndra pick that Godbro and Ichan pulled out in the first game. I have never seen so many good Scout of the Weeks. It was insane.
It was indeed, and I really, really like this Gnar pickup from the Playing Ducks. They banned out the Irelia, and Irelia, one of the only champions that can efficiently deal with Gnar in that top lane, because there was no ban coming out. And actually, the Elise ban coming out, definitely a respect ban.
Ooh, Mundo.
There. Not a ban that we see very often, obviously not a very meta champion at the moment, but as I say, Koi going to be on that Gnar. That is going to be terrifying.
It is going to be very terrifying, and actually the choice that they decided to pick up against him was that Mundo. So Mundo versus Gnar, let's talk a little bit about this lane. Basically, the reason why you might pick a Mundo into this lane is because it lets you build like a Sunfire first pretty freely, because you want it anyway, so you're going to be relatively tanky against him. You've got crowd control reduction on your Burning Agony, and you have the ability to farm from range with your Cleavers. If you get ahead in lane, you definitely have kill potential on the Gnar as well. But there's one weird thing about this lane which makes Mundo a lot less good, and that's the fact that Hyper deals a percentage of your max health on every 3 attacks for the Gnar. The fact that he's actually picked Mundo into that is kind of scary. If Koi gets a decent amount of attack speed early on, puts down some pressure, and actually Boomerang Toss also applies 1 stack of Hyper, it could get very dangerous for Binsu in that top lane.
It definitely could, and I mean, we've seen how aggressive Koi has been in these previous lanes. I would expect him to be as aggressive in this lane as well. I mean, he just seems like one of those players that no matter what, he's gonna go ham. And I mean, that's kind of the entire playstyle that we've seen from PD. A lot of that has been because Koi has pushed that aggression, and his team is always there to answer and always there to follow him up. But at the same time, SK have been able to follow up on any aggression in that top lane as well. We've seen a lot of top lane fights across these two games.
We have indeed. That's been a very big point of contention. And if SK Prime decide to lock in this Lissandra, this is pretty interesting. Alright, so they have gone for it. Now, a few days ago, you and me, Munch, we were casting a really high-level game. Lissandra got picked into Ahri, and Ahri's life was just miserable. Like, there was nothing that Ahri could do. Wow, this is actually... I was going to mention the fact that mid lane Lissandra isn't that good. Okay, they're swapping it up. I don't know what to say anymore. Basically, Lissandra in the middle lane isn't that amazing. She's good against Ahri in team fights, but in lane it's not the best situation for her. Typically, you see Lissandra being played top when she is picked. However, putting Mundo in that middle lane, also kind of a weird choice. It makes sense to send Lissandra there. But later in this game, Avenue is going to have such a hard time dealing with the ultimate coming out of Lissandra that Frozen Tomb just completely nullifies the Spirit Rush and stops her from moving around in fights like she wants to.
Yeah, and I absolutely love that Lissandra pickup. I mean, it is kind of a tentative pick for a lot of players just because Sometimes the ultimate can be a little bit buggy, and you get the damage, but the Frozen Tomb doesn't properly stun, and you see people walk out of it, and that is a risk that you kind of take when you pick Lissandra, and I feel like if that wasn't the case, there would be a lot more Lissandra picks, but hopefully that won't happen in this game. And Godbro's Lissandra versus Avenue's Ari. This should be an incredibly good matchup.
Yeah, this is actually Avenue's third game in a row in this series on Ari. So clearly, SK Prime don't think it's enough of a threat to actually give it the respect and ban it out. They think they can deal with it, and they think they can deal with it with a Lissandra, which is, you know, in lane, this could definitely not go well for Godbro if Avenue lands some of her good long-range poke. Godbro's range is a little bit less long. She is quite safe from gank, so it's going to be nice against the Jarvan, and having that Pantheon coming in. If they decide to go for a gank onto Avenue before 6, before that Spirit Rush, or afterwards by using the Frozen Tomb, they've got a good chance of picking her up. So we're about to head into a music break, guys, but don't go anywhere. This is going to be our third game of our quarterfinals between SK Prime and Playing Ducks. It's 1-1 at the moment. This is going to be a great one.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to the Black Monster Cup Winter Season 2014. We're heading into our third game of our quarterfinals between the Playing Ducks and SK Prime. And what a series it has been so far. 1-1 in this series. And my name is Munchables, and I'm casting with us Sigilus.
Yeah, this series has just been ridiculous so far. Koi actually taking a lot of damage. Mikey's coming around here. They might... Oh, they're not going to go for this. They'd have to go under the tower in order to get it. But Koi, if they pressure him enough, won't be able to recall in time. Looks like he is going to go back, though. Nice job by BMC just to make sure that Koi wasn't able to put down any deep wards or anything like that by moving into his jungle, purely because he was harassed so much. On the flip side, in the bottom lane, we see that SK Prime actually did successfully plant their deep ward onto the red buff. In the top side, obviously, because BMC and Taiki moved in, they were able to place it onto the blue buff. So they have complete information about where Zion Uzi decides to start, which is very, very good. And again, both of the bot laners going for that small camp by the bot buff.
Yeah, and this is a trend that we're seeing in every single game at the minute, and I mean, it makes perfect sense to do it. Like, your jungler is starting at the other side of the map, you can get away with it more than comfortably, and why not? Why not push for that level 2? And if you don't, and your opponent does, you're gonna hit level 2 after them, and they have a lot of kill potential if the enemy bot lane hits level 2 first.
Godbro is shoving up this wave really nicely, and every time she goes for the shove, she makes sure to land that ability onto Ari as well. That Ice Shard, obviously, if it hits something, it splits up, deals splash damage to the things behind it, and whenever she goes for a CS with it, she makes sure to line it up with Avenue, does a lot of damage, and actually Avenue having to burn one of those Biscuits of Regeneration just as I was saying it already, gonna be behind in this lane to begin with.
Yeah, and that is one of the things about Lissandra that makes her a really difficult champion to deal with. Actually,
whoa, bot lane.
Taking a lot of damage, the play coming across there. Now we can see level 2 hit. The hook is going to land. Steal back. Valking right behind Brokey, but the headbutt is going to knock him on the tower. He takes the tower shot. The ignite is ticking. He's going to go down. A nice flash from Brokey. And now he's trying to dodge out from Barney D. Gets under the tower. He's able to relentless pursue out of there. And he's going to survive with first blood in his pocket.
That was absolutely crazy. Barney D just getting out of safety there as well, but Steelback tried to outplay Saze there by using the Valkyrie behind, making it so that if he headbutted, he'd still be in a position where he could hit Brokey. Unfortunately for him, he just hit the edge of the tower range, went down to ignite and attack. Taiki's here though.
Oh, Brokey, oh, the death sentence lands, finishes it off, making it literally a death sentence, and Taiki is going to follow. 1 for 1 in the bottom lane. Alistair picking up that final kill. Both supports, in fact, picking up a kill there.
Talk about a crazy early aggression game. I mean, both of the last games we've seen a lot of early aggression, but this one is taking the cake so far. They are just applying so much pressure in that bot lane already. Both of the junglers have went down there before 4 minutes, which is nuts, because normally you see your junglers, you know, they got to go back really early now. The jungle is a lot stronger, they take a lot more damage, their jungle item costs less. There's so many reasons to go back straight away, and they did go back very early, but still managed to get there to that bot lane, still managed to help pick up those kills. I definitely think it went the way of playing Ducks, though. They managed to secure 2 kills out of that. Looking at the top lane, BMC, he is starting to struggle. He's trying to farm just with those cleavers. Obviously, if you hit something with them, they return some health to you, but if you miss, you don't get anything from it. So when he misses a CS like he just did that caster minion, not only are you missing a CS, you're wasting a lot of health in the meantime. Also using that Burning Agony to farm really good. Actually picked up 2 with that, which is quite difficult. It's comparable, you know, to last hitting with a Flame Spitter on Rumble or something to that effect. Quite a difficult one to actually accurately gauge how much damage you're going to do, but clearly he's practiced this a lot. In the middle lane, Godbro's doing a nice job of staying above Avenue on CS at the moment, and also harassing quite a lot. However, Avenue is ahead in experience right now and putting down some really solid damage.
He is indeed, and we're going to see Zion Uzi trying to head up, trying to get to either of these lanes right now, just clearing away that skull crab, trying to get some vision around this area, and he's positioning like he wants to be very aggressive, looking like he wants to go for a deep ward here and possibly rotate down towards the bot lane, taking away that enemy Gromp. And I like this play from him, but immediately we see Taiki is going to go into the enemy jungle as well. He's looking to counter some of that counter jungling, but it looks like he may actually come towards us.
Avenue!
Avenue could be in trouble. There's the root coming in from Godbro. Is Taiki going to dive this? No, he's not. Deciding to back away from that one. Doesn't want to go under the tower just yet.
Yeah, that gank was nicely timed. They were trying to go before level 6 was hit on Avenue, before Spirit Rush was available, because they knew that Godbro was actually behind on experience. Had Avenue hit level 6 first, they wouldn't have been able to secure a kill. Oh, Godbro doing a good job with that frozen path to get out of there. But, as I was saying before, we knew that Avenue was higher on experience. He was going to hit level 6 first. Spirit Rush was going to be available before Frozen Tomb. Had that happened, firstly, they wouldn't have been able to get a kill if they ganked, because they wouldn't have been able to lock up the Spirit Rush. And secondly, Godbro might have been in danger of simply being all in 1 versus 1 against Avenue. So nice timing. Didn't actually burn any summoners, though. Good job by Avenue, making sure that he didn't lose too much in that little 2 versus 1 exchange.
Yeah, really good job by them. Actually, we're going to see Koi going aggressive. Has hit level 6 on that Gnar, goes into Mega Gnar and trying to get some damage down, but not really able to do as much as he'd perhaps like. In the meantime, in this mid lane, Godbro is starting to get quite aggressive. He's going to be able to push Avenue out of lane here.
Look at the CS!
Exactly, and he could force Avenue. If he can get him to go to base, he's going to force him to lose even more CS.
Yeah, and that's exactly why Avenue's staying right now. She cannot afford to go back when you're about to lose a minion wave and you're already 20 or so CS behind your opponent. However, also needs to be careful of sticking around. Frozen Tomb's available for Godbro if he decides to go for it, and it counters Ahri so hard you cannot Spirit Rush when you're entombed in ice like that.
Yeah, and the mobility is like 80% of the reason why Ahri is such a good champion. And the fact that it completely nullifies any of that mobility, especially if Taiki comes into the mid lane to follow up. You get the 1.5 second stun from the Glacial Tomb on top of the stun from Pantheon. There's not really much counterplay you can do to that.
Yeah, it is very, very difficult. I mean, you don't often see a QSS on a mage, but this is one of those situations where if you don't have some form of breaking it, you're going to be useless. That's why Mikhail's Crucible is such an unbelievably good item for Seize to pick up this game. He needs to be able to help Avenue out when it comes to those Lissandra ultimates. If he doesn't go for that item early, Ahri won't be able to do anything early. It's as simple as that.
We'll have to see if he does go for that. I mean, I would expect that Mikhail's to come out anyway. On Alistair, it is nice. You don't... I mean, you have quite a lot of peel, obviously, but your cooldowns are incredibly long, so having that extra item to help out your teammates is going to be crucial on that champion. Would expect him to pick that up relatively early on in this game. Let's see when he does pick that up, whether he opts to go for some other items first. I would expect, obviously, the Sight Stone and the Face of the Mountain to come out first.
BMC is doing a really good job in this top lane, keeping about even in CS with Koi. He has used his teleport though, and Koi has not. So if there is a fight in the bottom lane, in the middle lane, by the dragon, Koi will be able to come and BMC will not. And BMC also does not have any form of hard crowd control to actually cancel the teleport channel. On the flip side, Koi can use that wallop, he can use Gnar when he's in his ultimate form, and use those things to stop BMC from actually joining a fight. Now, looking at this mid lane, again, both of them deciding to go for that needlessly large rod first. This is actually really interesting. Neither of them even considering going for the Athenes early, which in a lane like this where it's very heavy, action-packed, lots of damage going down on both sides, you'd think would maybe be a priority.
Oh, here we go! Avenue in a lot of trouble. There's the Ring of Frost. There's the man drop. Taiki picking that one up. And Avenue just didn't stand a chance. Got absolutely destroyed.
I guess that's why you go for the needlessly large rod, at least on the side of Godbro. She popped Avenue so quickly there, that did so much damage, and of course Avenue unable to run away, being entombed in ice. Grand Skyfall plus that is a disgusting combination. You can start the Skyfall before you're in the air, tell your mid laner that you're coming, Lissandra puts down the Tomb of Ice, and then you go in. They actually got a dragon off the back of that as well. SK Prime are looking really solid so far. They're behind 100 gold, but that's almost nothing, and it's not really a big deal considering that they've got a champion that completely counters one of the other ones. It's going to be down to really solid strategic play coming out of playing Ducks in order to win this, like this gank top lane.
Yeah, we're going to see BMC in a lot of trouble. Doesn't have his ultimate available. There's the ultimate from Koi. That's going to be a kill. Donated across to Uzi there. And damn, this is not looking good. What a beautiful death sentence onto Brokey. Nullifying the relentless pursuit with the play as well. But Barney D in a 1v1 with the AD carry. That's not a 1v1 he wants. But all of the damage is on the AD carry as opposed to the support. And Brokey is in a lot of trouble. He's going to go down, but the teleport comes in from Koi. He's jumping onto Steelback. Koi actually getting stunned up by Taiki. Gets knocked under the tower though, has to flash away. The charm just gonna miss. There's the ignite. There's the kill for Koi. Now Say's trying to lock up Barney D. This is gonna be everyone coming down to the bot lane now though. Bisu trying to do what he can, getting the slowdown, but a beautiful death sentence yet again. Barney D bringing it up for his team, and this is gonna be potentially the bot lane tower, but we are seeing Jarvan's hovering around. He wants to do something here, but I don't know if he's gonna be able to.
He is pretty strong at the moment, but because Avenue does not have... Oh, actually just got Spirit Rush. This might be the chance for them to turn around. The Glacial Path just making her run around in fear. Not sure if that was going to be a commit. Obviously, Frozen Tomb was not used during that engagement. If Lissandra wanted to turn around, if Godbro wanted to go in there. But that's the second time we've seen Taiki go to that bot lane, stun someone up, and then get forced into tower range and taken down by it. You gotta feel bad for him, because it's not really his fault that he's going into tower range.
Indeed, it's
not. Mid lane.
We're gonna see Oni-chan, in a lot of trouble here. He's gonna ult himself, and now the man drop is gonna come through. That's gonna be the Great Pass comes through. The stun comes onto Avenue. The damage is so massive from Godbro right now. Basically two-shot Ari there, and now they're gonna be able to push on towards this mid lane tower.
That was such a great turnaround from SK Prime and Godbro in particular. I mean, in the first game, we saw just how good he was when he picked up that Syndra. The Scatter of the Weeks were amazing. This game, holy cow, he is kiting around these fights perfectly, using his Frost Tomb on just the right moment. There, he's on himself. Obviously, it does damage around you. Even if you use it as Azanya's, Say's, he's not quite going to get engaged on here, I think.
Well, there's the Flay. They're deciding they don't want this fight, obviously. Zion Uzi is nearby, so they don't want to go straight into a 3v3, especially with Godbro's ultimate on cooldown. But Barney D just being a complete annoyance there to say. He just keeps on landing those death sentences.
Yeah, he is being very good with those so far this game. Not many of them have actually resulted in anything yet, but as the game goes on, the more accurate you are, the more opportunities you're going to have to make some picks, so he needs to try and keep that up as much as possible. He's doing a great job so far. Bot lane, Brokey's actually pushing up this tower, and Steelback isn't really nearby yet, so if Alistair comes down here... Oh, that was a nice play there, actually, by the Barney D, throwing his Lantern back, pretending that there's about to be some assistance from one of his teammates, managing to make Brokey back away, not put as much damage on the tower as he otherwise would have liked to.
Yeah, good mind games there from the Barney D, and Barney D really showing his proficiency on this champion at the minute. Actually has 2 kills on that Thresh as well, so... I mean, having kills on a support this early in the game is very, very good for you. I mean, means you can get that early Sightstone and start to get towards those items that are going to help your team survive in these mid-game team fights. When you can get that early on, it can make the difference in these dragon fights, especially with one coming up in 2 minutes.
Yeah, and when that dragon comes up, that is definitely going to be the next port of call for both of these teams. They really need to pick that up. You know, if you look on the side of playing Ducks, they haven't picked up their first dragon yet. That means they are 8% attack damage and ability power behind their enemies regardless of what they buy. That's a big deal. They really need to get that as soon as they can to be on a level playing field with SK Prime. Only 1 minute 30 now. You start to see vision wars already kind of happen in that mid lane. Godbro, he's 30 CS up on Avenue right now. This is not a lane I was initially expecting him to be able to win that easily, especially with backup from Zion Uzi. However, Taiki has really snowballed him into a position where he can do whatever he wants right now.
And the biggest issue as well is now, Godbro can one-shot the minion wave basically. 2 abilities is all it takes for him to kill a minion wave unless there's a cannon there. So
and it's about to get even better if they get the dragon. Although Seize might engage on here.
Having to use his ultimate way too early here. Taiki actually getting away with that a little bit buggily, but Seize having to use the ultimate early, and now he's going to be a very squishy target. Taiki is going to be able to get a stun. That's going to be Godbro getting the damage down. This is going to be a kill donated onto him. And that is not good for the enemy team. Already has his Zhonya's and is going to be well on the way to his next item, whatever that might be. But dragon spawning in 30 seconds, and it's looking like it's going to be a fairly difficult dragon to contest for PD.
Yeah, I mean, Sazed is going to be available in time, but is he going to want to run down there when he doesn't have his ultimate and try and contest it when they also don't have vision? It's risky. I'm not entirely sure that PD want to move in there before they have some vision, so they need to try and get that whilst waiting for Sazed to get back there. Actually, weirdly, Taiki is deciding not to go straight there. Koi and BMC, though, they're fighting in the top lane.
Koi could be in trouble here. He's going to turn into Meganar. Throws that out. Gets the ultimate down. Binsu does have his ultimate available as well.
Here.
They have so much healing between them, but Koi having to flash away. Taiki using the flash stun onto Koi. He's going to go down. Taiki picking that kill up. But with the jungler in the top lane, this is going to be PD starting off this dragon, and they might just be able to get this. However, there are 3 members from SK here, and they look like they want to contest this. Seize
is nearly
target right now.
Skyfall.
This is going to be Oni-chan getting caught by this charm, though. And absolutely obliterated, but now the dragon is going to go down. A beautiful steal by Taiki. He's going to be able to get that one. It costs him his life. Or does it actually? Avenue gets taken down. That's going to be a 1-for-1. And the dragon going across onto SK. A beautiful trade for them.
How did Taiki live for so long? That was insane. If he had died straight away, Avenue would have been able to turn on the steal back, try and get some damage down, maybe stop him from going in. Unfortunately for him, Taiki lived for way longer than he should have. Steelback just turns around, goes for the kill onto Avenue. They get it. Taiki and Godbro dying for that, though. Obviously not ideal. 1 kill and a dragon for 2 kills. Fairly even trade, but man, did Godbro get burst quick there. He has Zanya's and Frozen Tomb and couldn't use either of them to survive that. That was crazy. The crowd control coming down was perfect at locking him up.
It was, and I mean, just a really, really nice charm to initiate that as well. Really well played by Avenue, just saying, look, I may have lost the lane, but I'm not out of the game just yet. Really strong play from him, and now we're going to see these buffs.
Oh, top lane.
Uh-oh, Koi could be in trouble yet again. Doesn't have anything here. There's the Glacial Tomb. And using the Gnarl actually to save him, but the slow is going to come down from Binsu. Godbro should be able to pick this kill up. He's juking out everything, but is he going to get away? No, he's not. Binsu picks that one up with his AoE there, but this is going to signal PD, the mid lane tower, with 2 people up in that top lane.
PD are actually doing a relatively good job of when they lose something, gaining something somewhere else. And that's really, really important. For example, when things were going wrong in bottom, they sent Zion Uzi top lane with Koi, picked up Binsu. Just then, you know, Koi's getting ganked in the top lane, okay, let's take mid lane. They're doing a nice job of making sure they don't fall too far behind, and if you look at the gold, they're actually ahead by 500. I would definitely argue that because of the power spikes that we're seeing on the side of SK Prime, though, they are slightly ahead, purely because their champions are becoming very potent right now. Taiki's going to fall off soon, though. That's not going to last for too long.
Yeah, we'll have to see if they're able to continue to snowball. I mean, the gold is so even right now. 500 gold difference, and I mean, the biggest difference right now is the fact that 2 dragons have gone across to SK, and I mean, Taiki did a really good job to steal away that dragon from PD, and
that's not something you can see on the gold graph either.
No. definitely not. And I mean, it wasn't even a dragon that he necessarily should have been able to take either. He was able to steal that from his opponents and managed to trade very evenly in the fight as well. So with that extra minion damage, they're going to be able to push out waves a little bit quicker. It gives them a lot more map pressure than you might initially think.
Yeah, Godbro and Taiki trying to go onto top lane there. Unfortunately, there was some good wards, or fortunately for playing Ducks, there were some good wards there to actually mean that they could see that coming. Koi was able to play by his tower, and Zionuzi was able to back away. Also clearing out that ward was very nice. Barney D has been trying to get this pink ward for so long. He's finally going to pick it up. Actually, that's cruel. The actual kill credit went to Godbro. I think that's kind of mean. The Barney D worked really hard with that. Now Koi in the top lane, though, taking a lot of damage from BMC. BMC's actually doing a really good job of trading with him. Now that he's picked up some health and armor, he can sit there and keep throwing those cleavers, which actually do a lot of damage. Grand Skyfall coming in, too.
Yeah, that's going to be Koi stunned up. Doesn't have Meganar right now. He may be able to turn. No, he can't. That's going to be the kill picked up by Taiki. This could, in fact, be the top lane tower. They don't have a dragon to lose. No lanes are under pressure right now. Binsu can shove this as hard as he wants, but teleport is available in 20 seconds for Koi, but I don't think that's going to be soon enough.
The Grand Skyfalls coming out of Taiki this game have been really, really solid. He's made something big happen from every single one of them. One of them, it looked like he was just going into his death. He managed to steal a dragon and pick up a kill on Avenue. Like, he's been making them work even if they look like they shouldn't. That one in the top gave a lot over to BMC. He's now 2 for 1 for 3 versus 1 for 3 for 1. He's closer to being even on CS. He forced the teleport out of Koi, which is a big deal because BMC didn't have his, and Dragon's up soon. And it also means that that tower is nearly dead if they decide to push it again soon. That Grand Skyfall accomplished so much with just one click of R.
It did indeed, and I mean, that's been pretty much the story of SK this game. Just things are going wrong, and then suddenly Pantheon. I mean, every single fight, whether it's been Skyfall or not, Taiki has been arriving at just the exact right moment and turning fights for his team. Godbro as well, just being in the right place at the right time every single time, and with that Glacial Tomb being able to do so much for his team. Right now, gold's still incredibly even, but Dragon going to be spawning in the next minute. Right now, I really don't think playing Ducks can afford to let SK take another Dragon.
They definitely cannot afford for that. 5% extra movement speed would be bad. Here they come, though. They're trying to stop this.
Barney D trying to get the grab onto the AD carry there, but Sazed having to use his ultimate. There's not really much reason there, but he has to get out of there. Flashes straight away. Having to use his ultimate as well. This is not very good for SK, in fact, because with Mundo's ultimate, he's not going to be anywhere near as tanky as he needs to be. And with the Dragon fight potentially happening 30 seconds, this could be bad, but on the same
They're going to lose this tower top, too.
Actually, yeah, Gnar pushing all of this time. Doesn't have teleport, though. So this is going to be a 4v4 fight for the Dragon. And, I mean, Alistair doesn't have his ultimate either, so neither team really having too much of a frontline tank. And it looks like playing Ducks aren't really in much of a position to contest. They're on the wrong side of the pit. They don't really have any vision except those two wards inside the pit. Don't have any vision of the actual players. And I don't know, it's going to be started off. There's going to be the man dropping back. Brokey gets obliterated. The one shot from Godbro there. And now Sazed is going to be on the front line. He's going to be the target. Not going to be able to get away from that one. Steelback picking up yet another kill for himself. Not even pinging for the Dragon. They're going for more kills. Koi in a lot of trouble. There's going to be the Gnar ultimate. The damage coming out from Avenue is huge. He manages to get up one kill. Koi going to go down though. Actually, no, flashes away. Jarvan picks up a kill onto Thresh, and that's going to be Zionuzi going down as well. Avenue now on the front line, gets so low. Manages to flash away though. Can Taiki chase this one down? I don't think he can. It's going to turn into a 2 for 2 in the end.
The initial fight by the red buff was such a great piece of coordinated play from SK Prime. Godbro threw out his glacial path, sort of signaling that he was going to engage. Brokey could only retreat in one direction, backwards. But Taiki timed his Grand Skyfall perfectly, so as soon as he dashed backwards, he landed on top of him. That was literally Godbro forcing, without even touching, Brokey into the center of the Grand Skyfall. They clearly planned that out. It was so good to see. Later in that fight, though, Godbro made a little bit of a misplay. Flash forward, trying to use his root ability in order to actually catch out Koi on his way down from top lane. Unfortunately, the Ring of Frost fell slightly too short to actually root him, and as a result of that, Koi and Avenue just turned around and obliterated a few people. Fight overall, though, definitely still went the way of SKP.
Yeah, and on top of the fight, they picked up their third, I believe, dragon. That's going to give them the movement speed, but more importantly, that's going to give them so much map presence. I mean, 3 dragons now. It's starting to get hard for PD. They have to contest some of these. Barney D actually getting caught out. There's the DFG. There's the ultimate. Avenue picking up a nice catch there onto Barney D and evening out the gold a little bit. So, gonna see now. PD grouping up towards this mid lane. They have a numbers advantage right now. They should want to try and pressure something, but it's gonna be so hard with
here we go.
CC, but here he goes. Gets Zhonya's though. I say gets Zhonya's, uses his Zhonya's. Now he's going to use the Glacial Bash, but gets knocked up. Still has his ultimate available. That's going to be Zion Uzi jumping in, but he goes straight down. Now Koi has jumped in. Doesn't manage to get the stun with his Gnar ultimate, though. Misses the wallop as well. He's on the front line taking a lot of damage. Mega Gnar is gone now. He might go down. The Hex Drinker rocking though. But there is the ultimate onto Avenue, and it does so much damage. He's going to go down. Stays now the next target. He goes down as well. And a 3-for-0. A perfect fight yet again from SK Prime. These guys are so coordinated.
That was not even with the Barney D there to back him up. There was no box, no death sentence, no flame, no dark passage, no nothing coming out of Barney D. It's amazing that they managed to do so well, all things considered. But this Baron might be a little bit audacious here. Lucian and Gnar nearby. Here they go.
That's going to be Brokey picking up 1 kill, but the Baron goes down along with 2 members. That is going to be a beautiful trade yet again for SK. No matter what happens, they seem to be coming out on top of these fights. And 2 for 2 with the Baron, they are more than happy with that.
That was really nice, actually. I don't think they mind losing 2 members in that situation. They got a lot more for it. And actually, Godbro, we keep singing his praises. He's only 2 for 3 for 8 right now. It's not even as if there was a shutdown given away there. He's not that far ahead. The main reason why he's so strong is because he has good farm, and because his ultimate completely counters Ahri. He's not providing an astounding amount purely due to the fact that he's not actually got that many kills yet.
No, he hasn't, but obviously the assists and the farm are going to mean that he can still basically one-shot whoever he damn well pleases at this stage in the game, and we saw that on Avenue in that fight. The second that ultimate comes down and the rest of his abilities, Avenue's health bar just gets melted.
Yeah, and he's doing a really good job of making sure that he actually saves the Frozen Tomb for Avenue. In that last fight, it would have been very easy to make the mistake of using the Frozen Tomb onto Koi or onto Brokey when they were dodging downwards, you know, above the wall by mid lane. But instead, he kept the correct target in mind, actually kind of got assisted a little bit by Sazed, who knocked him towards Avenue, and made sure to use it on the one who was most mobile and most of a threat at the time. Really solid, disciplined play coming out from Godbro, not using it too early.
Yeah, and I really like this play from them, and now we're going to see BMC pressuring this top lane tower. It's only like 1 or 2 auto attacks off going down, and he is going to be able to finish that now. And the man drop is going to come through. Koi does have Mega Gnar available, so they're going to be okay. Manages to leap off the minions' heads there. Say's trying to get onto Godbro, but I really don't feel like this is a fight that they want right now. The Baron buff minions are there as well. They're going to do a lot of damage. Look how much damage Koi just took off those. That's purely just 4 minions attacking him. Doesn't look like a lot, but if they stay up for an entire fight, that is going to be enough to half health the Squishy at least.
Part of the reason that didn't look like much is Koi actually just transformed into Mega Gnar, so he received a little bit of extra health. Now that he's there already, it's going to be harder, and actually Godbro completely forcing away Zion Uzi there. Koi gets hooked in.
Koi gets caught, but he's able to leap out of there, but now Sace gets Taiki right underneath the tower. Beautiful play by him. Now Godbro is going to be the target. A beautiful ultimate on himself, but I don't think he'll survive this one. Sonya's, the Glacial Path is not going to land though. He goes down. Avenue picking that kill up with the charm. And it looks like Playing Ducks are wanting to follow up on this one. Corki having to Valkyrie out of there. Say's trying to chase this one up. BMC having to use his ultimate, does have that tenacity, so not going to be easy to lock up. And actually, Playing Ducks looking pretty low. Steelback could possibly turn this one if they go too deep, and deciding to back away. Don't want to chase too hard. Don't want to throw away those 2 kills that they just picked up.
That was pretty scary, actually, for SK Prime. Oh, Broaky! Not going to get hooked. That would have been very, very bad. But that was a great initiation onto Taiki. Oh, Steelback! He's going to get caught out here.
Steelback could be in trouble, but Barney D is just around the corner. Now Say's is there. That's going to be the man drop coming through, though. It's not going to land onto them, but Say's now in so much trouble. He's going to go down. Steelback gets unstoppable. Now Broaky trading with Pantheon, but not going to be able to get anything off that, and SK just getting a nice pick, and now
there's a dragon
with the support down, dragon spawning. This is not good for Playing Ducks.
No, this is very bad for them. The 4th stack of dragon. Oh, Broaky gets hooked though.
The death sentence onto Broaky. He is in so much trouble. There's the box, there's the ignite. Koi now going to be the focus target. He's going to run away, but that is guaranteed the dragon for SK right now. 4 dragons in their pocket unless Zion Uzi can steal this. I don't think he can, though. It's not low enough just yet. They need to CC him up ASAP. There's the Glacial Tomb. He gets the smite, though. Steals it, ruining SK's streak.
That was not okay. They were still doing way too much damage to the dragon when they saw the Jarvan was coming in. Lissandra Godbro also made a mistake of using her Glacial Path and exiting the pit. They just gave away what could have been something that kind of sealed the deal for them. The 15% damage to structures and towers would have been so good at helping them finish this game out. Unfortunately, they just gave 8% AD and AP to the team who isn't losing by that much to them, and previously was not doing anywhere near as much damage as them now this late game. That was really bad for SK Prime, actually.
Yeah, definitely. It's going to mean that these team fights are much less one-sided. And it means that, I mean, we've already seen how much damage Avenue and Broaky can do. Despite them not being as fed as their counterparts, they're still going to be incredibly dangerous. And with that being the case, and SK just essentially increasing their opponent's damage by 8% there, this next fight could be a big swing in gold.
It could be a very big swing in gold. If we look at the gold difference, it's actually not huge. Only 3.8k in favor, or actually 4.8k, I believe, in favor of SK Prime. However, they are still decently far ahead of Dragons. They've got 2 additional ones. Previously on 4.19, that would have accounted for quite a large amount of gold. So they're still fairly far ahead. There's a lot of work left to be done if you are playing Ducks. But now, I mean, Baron's up in a minute. I imagine that SK Prime are not going to try and do anything too crazy whilst they wait for that to come back up. However, getting some vision down and looking for a catch, that could definitely happen.
Yeah, and with Godbro on the team, a catch is very, very likely to turn into a kill, and especially if they can land that ultimate onto Broaky or onto Avenue. Avenue still not picking up a Zhonya's, deciding just to go pure damage, and to be honest, I agree with that decision. When you're behind, you need to be able to pop those targets, and the defensive items are not how you get kills, so I don't know. I mean, the Zhonya's would be nice in those team fights, but I feel like he does just need the damage right now.
I think the problem with going Zhonya's, especially this game, is that if you use it, it's just letting Godbro get in position to ult you as soon as you come out, and then you're definitely dead. In addition to that, he's going to be the target of that regardless. What he needs to do is try and stay away from it and then pop someone really quick. The way you do that is increasing your damage so your orb of deceptions just hit for crazy amounts and you can land some good charms. I think the damage build makes a lot more sense in this situation, and actually, you know, because Godbro's got quite a few defensive items, like the Morella Nomicon is not the best defensive item. Oh, there's a hook though, hang on a second.
Yeah, Say's going to be the target. Is very, very tanky with that ultimate. He should be able to survive this on BMC. On this front line, doing what you can. The charm does land, but it's not going to be able to secure anything. And I mean, the ultimate has been burned now for Say, so he's not going to be able to face check again like he just did. They're trying to pop the Banshees if they can. They want to start this Baron, but they can't afford to while the enemy team is in a position to contest.
There's a Grand Skyfall coming in.
Broaky could be in trouble. That's going to be Avenue using that Spirit Rush to get away. But Zion Uzi gets obliterated. Now Say's jumping into the front line. He's not tanky enough though. There's the Zhonya's onto Godbro while the enemy dies. A beautiful Gnar ult by Koi. But there's no follow-up. There's no damage left on the team. They're all already dead. Avenue has to base away here, but it's not going to be enough. They're going to head over to the Baron now, and that's going to give them so much pushing power.
That fight was really well played by SK Prime. Oh, there's been a leave according to my screen. Hopefully he's going to be back in a second. Looks like probably just a connection issue. I'm going to have to endure this lovely Gatling gun sound whilst we talk to you now. But in fact, I'm going to turn my league sounds down because that is more than a little bit unpleasant. But that fight was really well played. Taiki got engaged on at the beginning there and actually flashed really, really nicely immediately back into the right of the fight. And there was a lot of commitment onto him already. Like, that was the target that had been shouted out on the side of Playing Ducks. You could tell because they were all trying to go from the beginning. Once that flash happened, suddenly all of their spells weren't really doing anything. They were missing. They didn't know who to focus. Jarvan had placed down an ultimate that wasn't actually helping them, it was kind of hurting them. And as a result of that, the back line of SK Prime did so much work. They've now picked up this Baron. They're 8k gold in the lead. This is going to become more and more difficult for Playing Ducks if they don't win a fight soon.
It is indeed. And that's the second Baron being picked up for SK. 8.5 or 8,000 gold in the lead, as you say. That is a significant lead. And I mean, we're heading towards the late game. Pantheon's going to start falling off, Corki as well, but I really feel like this is going to be so hard for Playing Ducks to come back from. They really need a perfect team fight.
Whoa, here we go.
Seize is going in onto Barney B, but look at the damage Corki is putting out right now. Seize getting crit up, even through his ultimate. That's the Cataclysm, but Binzu is not the target you want that on. Seize going to go down. Now Brokey on the back line trying to stop what he can with the culling. A really nice snarl from Koi. It's not going to be enough though. He goes down. Triple kill coming onto Steelback. This is going to be the tier 2 tower going down. Barney D chasing away the mid laner on his own. This guy is a hero. And now they're going to push down this mid lane inhibitor tower and definitely take an inhibitor.
That was really nice. Oh, bro.
Oh, the ultimate.
Hi, son.
Oh, but there's the charm back, but it's not enough. Steelback dies to the ignite. Really nicely played by Avenue. He almost got a double kill, in fact, onto Godbro as well. Had he managed to... had Zhonya's not been up, that would have been a double kill.
Yeah, that was a very nice Zhonya's. To be fair, though, I mean, the Zhonya's was available because they didn't do enough damage in the fight. They couldn't get into a position where they could actually fight. And actually, one thing I really like about what Taiki's been doing is he's been using his stun on Zion Uzi as soon as he Cataclysms in. So he's just sitting there in the Cataclysm, unable to do anything. It's really cool, actually. Well played by Taiki. It's a way of keeping his backline safe. And, you know, if you look at him right now, he's not really an assassin. He's got a Randuin's and a Spectre's Cowl. All he can really do at this point is try and defend his backline rather than assassinating the backline of his opponents. Versus Binzu, who definitely wants to be running in, trying to get to that backline because he's so tanky and no one can kill him. Mundo goes where he pleases.
He does indeed, and that is going to be the 4th dragon coming across onto SK. Unfortunately, did miss out on that 3rd dragon, weren't able to take that one away from their opponents, did get stolen out by Zion Uzi, but I mean, what can Playing Ducks do to get back in this game right
they
now?
might be able to catch Steelback here. That'd be quite a big deal. Although he's got teammates, I'm not sure if they realize.
I think they knew, actually. Dodging out the charm, though. Nicely sidestepped by Godbro. Going to be able to do a little bit of damage. Sage could be in trouble here. This is going to be the ultimate out of him. The headbutt pulverized combo is going to come through, but the ultimate onto Avenue absolutely annihilates him. Godbro actually jumping onto Brokey. Not a fight that he wanted now, Taiki on this front line. But this is going to be a 3 for 2 so far. That's going to be 4 for 1, in fact. Double kill onto Steelback. He's going to try and chase onto Brokey. Brokey might actually be able to turn and kill Steelback if he's quick enough. Tries to turn it around, but the shield comes through. That's going to be Brokey going down the stun, followed by the auto attack. Steelback picks up another kill. They could possibly try and end right now. They have 20-second death timers. It's going to be close, but they could try and push for it.
I'm not sure if they can end, but they can definitely at least get one more inhibitor. Fortunately, in the top lane, they have to kill that inner tower before they can go for that. But bot lane, Mundo, Binzu was not even in that fight. Teleport was not available for him. He could not follow Koi. They won that 4 versus 5. And Binzu is their front line. This is getting ridiculous. I don't know what Playing Ducks can do at this point. They need to find some inner strength here and try and come back, because this is it. If they go out here, they're out of the tournament. Their chance at the 15,000 euros is gone. Their entrance to the semifinals is denied, and SK Prime go forward instead.
Yeah, and I mean, they've been in this tournament for weeks and weeks. This is so important to them right now, and it looks like it may be slipping away, but we'll have to see if they can make any clutch plays to get back into this. There's a statistic somewhere that says if you lose 2 inhibitors, there's like an 80% chance or 75% chance that you're going to lose that game, and they've lost 2 inhibitors. Let's see if they have what it takes to be that 20% that can still win despite that deficit.
Whoa,
and actually,
Koi.
we're going to see Koi trying to make those plays that is needed. That's going to be the charm following. That's going to be Godbro going down, but Taiki with the man drop gets the counter kill immediately. Koi now trying to get away. There's the face of the mountain shield, going to keep him alive for a little bit longer. But there's a tier 2 tower going down in this top lane. There's the hook. Doesn't quite land though, but the stun onto Saze. He uses his ultimate. He's going to be so tanky. Is he going to be tanky enough though? Looks like he will be. Randuin's slowing away Zion Uzi so he can't engage, but this is really not a fight that Playing Dogs can pick, and that's going to be Koi going down. Another beautiful death sentence. The ultimate not available for Saze. He goes down. Double kill yet again for Steelback. He's going to keep on pushing through. There's Zion Uzi getting taken so low. Pushed onto the fountain right now. Look at the crit onto Brokey there. Taking half of his HP in one auto attack. And now that's the final inhibitor going down. They have the super minions pushing. Death timers are far too long. This is going to be the final game going over to SK Gaming. What an incredible series.
Absolutely amazing. Every single game was so close. This one is arguably the least close of any of them. And man, I mean, the first and second game, though, some of the best games I've seen in the entirety of the Black Monster Cup. This one is no slouch either. I hope